Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching the Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you my answers for the questions in the Fantasy Bucket List book tag. All the 7 questions in the tag as well as the link for the blog post from which I found this tag will be down in the description. Don't forget to go out and check the blog post and also leave all your answers in the comments below because I'd like to know them. So without any further ado, let's get into the questions right away. Question number 1, a fictional world that you'd love to tour. Okay, after seeing this question itself, I thought of only one answer because I read The Hobbit very recently, so I definitely want to tour the Middle Earth because the adventure that was shown in The Hobbit was completely something which I enjoyed, okay, and the way in which the author built the world was also something which interested me the most because it was very slow. He did not leave anything unturned at all. Almost each and everything, starting from the flora and fauna and the history of each and everything that was happening, was completely laid on for us. Okay, it was just a middle grade book, but in that itself the author has put in that much detail, okay, and from that itself I can see the huge scope and the vastness of the world very easily. So I think that there will be a lot many places to visit in the Middle Earth. I've just read The Hobbit so far. I'm sure that I'm going to find many more places which I'd love to visit while I read the Lord of the Rings as well. So that's the answer for this question because the Middle Earth is vast and the variety of places that we can see there is very huge. So I'd like to take a tour to the Middle Earth. Question number 2, a specific place you'd like to visit, and for this I want to talk about a single place in the A Song of Ice and Fire or Game of Thrones series, and it is Highgarden. Okay, I think Highgarden is the place which occurs only from the 3rd book in the series. I'm not sure though. It's been a while since I read the series as a whole. It is actually the place from which the Tyrells come, and I can say that Marjorie Tyrell is definitely one of my most favorite characters from this entire series itself because she's very clever and she knows how to get her way. Okay, also the way in which the Tyrells do their politics is really good. I think that Highgarden as a whole itself is just a huge city that looks like a garden. The way in which it is shown in the Game of Thrones show is also very beautiful. We don't get to see a lot of Highgarden in the show, but the way in which it is described here just makes it look like a very beautiful, rich and fragrant place rather than anything else that I've seen so far in the Game of Thrones world. It is definitely a grimdark series, right? So seeing such a mellow and fragrant place which just makes us feel calm was so different in here, so I'd like to visit that place. Question number 3, a character that you'd like to meet. There are 2 characters, okay. The first one obviously is Magnus Bane from the Shadowhunter Chronicles. I've talked about him many times in the channel. I don't want to go on again and again also because it might feel repetitive for many people. The second one is also a very OG character and it is Albus Dumbledore, okay, from the Harry Potter series. I'm sure that everyone likes Dumbledore for some reason or the other. He is very famous, very intelligent and super powerful, okay. The amount of secrets that Dumbledore has is very enormous. We just get bits and pieces of his history from his single living sibling and another sibling who is actually dead yet provides us some information. I want to know a lot more about Dumbledore and I'd just like to have a cup of coffee with him somewhere. So these are 2 characters whom I'd definitely love to visit. Question number 4, an event you'd like to witness. Okay, this is definitely not an event but an ability that some characters have in this world, and I'm talking about an ability within the Nevernight Chronicle by J. Kristoff. If you've not read it and if you like very dark, grimdark fantasy, you can definitely read it. It's definitely really well done. Okay, there are a lot of ridiculous footnotes which is a bit annoying at times, but as a whole the series is really good. The thing which I like to witness from this world is that there are these types of people called the Darkin in this world, okay, and the Darkin are people who can manipulate shadows and they can travel through shadows itself. Okay, how roads and highways are like a pathway or channel for us to travel, shadows are a channel for these people to travel. There are multiple scenes in which our main character Mia Cordery travels through the shadows and uses them as channels in order to get to places. That's definitely something which is very cool. I want to witness seeing that like an event because it's definitely not something which we see in our real lives, right? It seems dark, cool as well as creepy at the same time, so I'd like to witness that. Question number 5, a sport or activity that you'd like to try. I can say that I'll not say a sport, okay. If it comes to sports, I can just think of Quidditch and nothing else, and I think Quidditch will be fun for just flying around on the broom rather than just abiding to the rules and playing with a ball. There is something else which I'm very much interested in doing as an activity when it comes to fantasy books as a whole itself, and it is brewing potions. Okay, I like when there are characters in any series who are working on some kind of experiment that they do with chemicals. Okay, that is something which I'm always interested to read and find intriguing as well. So I'd like to participate in an activity where there is a lot of brewing to do. I also like to measure things and add them to stuff. Okay, I like cooking to some extent, so potion brewing is very much similar to cooking but a lot more complex when it comes to the proportions and ratios also. So that is an activity which I'd like to participate in. Question number 6, a weapon that you'd like to wield. I can say that any weapon which makes use of both hands will be something which will be functional for me, because I like to use both my hands while I'm talking or doing any stuff. Okay, even when I'm working, I try to give the same amount of work for both my hands while I'm typing on the keyboard, clicking on the mouse and things like that. So I'd like to use both my hands while I'm using a weapon as well. So something like a twin blade or a sword and a shield at the same time, all those things will be better options for me, because they'll provide you balance as well while you're using a single thing in each hand, because you'll be able to block with one and you'll be able to defend yourself with one. So that will be nice. Apart from this, I also like something like a string or a cord that is attached, so that we can just toss it around and attack our offenders. That will be a cool weapon of choice for me. Question number 7, the last question. An item that you'd like to use. This can be any fantastical item from any fantasy series, and for this I'm choosing the subtle knife from The Subtle Knife by Philip Pullman. Okay, the subtle knife in itself is a really dangerous weapon. It can cut through anything. Okay, that's the coolest power of the subtle knife. For the name that it has, it is definitely not subtle, because there is a particular way in which it needs to be sheathed, otherwise it will even cut through the sheath and just make it into two pieces. You can literally cut the earth into two halves using the subtle knife. You can cut air into fragments using the subtle knife, so it will definitely be a very dangerous as well as very witty weapon. Okay, the interesting part about the subtle knife is that it can be controlled mentally as well as physically, but you have to focus both of them in an equal way in order to wield it properly, otherwise it will not work correctly at all. You can just open doorways and travel into other worlds if you have the subtle knife. Just like any other thing, with greater power comes greater responsibility here also. It is definitely not very easy to use a subtle knife, especially while we are carving entrances between worlds. If you read the series, I'm sure you will understand what I'm talking about. So it's definitely a very cool weapon, very powerful, as well as it needs to be used very carefully. So yes guys, those were all my answers, and don't forget to leave your answers in the comments below, because I'd like to know them. And if you did enjoy watching today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel, because I publish new videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.